let's celebrate the 20th anniversary of Nintendo's biggest failure, the Virtual Boy. Yes, I will be experiencing all the horror that is the Virtual Boy for your pleasure. And you may want to take this in chunks because the red glare from these games may cause permanent damage to both your psyche and your actual retinas. I'm not a doctor, but after what I've experienced playing more than what you're going to see in this video, if you want to know more about the history of the Virtual Boy and why it was such a failure, you can read my article in Examiner, but this is the video game portion of that segment. So let's just get right into it. I'll be playing all 22 games ever released. That's right, only 22 games exist. Okay, let's kick things off with the actual last game to come out for the system, which is 3D Tetris. And as the name implies, it's Tetris, but in 3D. You navigate in this kind of column and you can rotate it as the blocks are kind of falling down. It's basically to have a very trippy feeling as you're experiencing this through 3D. And it looks interesting, but again, it's just Tetris. Next, Hubble Galactic Pinball, a pinball arcade in the solar universe. There is no table, you're just kind of experiencing through planets and bouncing the balls around, and it's a pinball game. Nothing great really about it. Neither is this next game, Golf, just called Golf. It's a golfing game, cool 3D aspects of the ball flying. That's about it. Next up, we have Insmouth no Yakata. You're running around a maze, it's a first-person shooter, and these creepy monsters will come up to attack you, and the clouds will come out the screen, and it kind of looks cool. And it's interesting to say the least. The maze thing is very hard to get through. It's very, very confusing. Very, very hard. But, you know, you're wandering around a haunted mansion, you're fighting monsters, shooting them. It's okay. Next up, we have Jack Bros. Now, Pyro Jack is a flaming lantern hand that has the fire abilities, and Jack Frost, of course, an ice wizard jester thing. These are from, of course, spin-off from the Shin Megami Tensei games. There's a very friendly monster. It's kind of like the mascot, I would say. The Pikachus, if you will. And it's a maze game. You're kind of wandering around, fighting foes. Again, it's pretty cool. The 3D works rather well. The graphics are pretty decent. But other than that, it's, again, very hard. And just, I don't know, an odd spin-off for the franchise. Alright, here we have Mario Clash, which is a spin on the original Mario game, which is Mario Brothers. And that one was kind of a 2D, you're fighting turtles and crabs are coming through the pipe machines. This one was the exact same thing, only in a 3D plane. Not much else than that. Mario looks really weird, actually. Doesn't he looks kind of, I guess, but he doesn't look like the classic Mario. I don't know, something's off about the game. It's fine for what it is, but it's, you know, whatever. As is Mario's next venture, which is Mario Tennis. It is a Mario Tennis game. The ball's coming at you. Looks kind of cool. You can partner up with people. Now here is a very deep cut. This is Nestors Funky Bowling. Nestor was basically the mascot of the Nintendo Power magazine. He did everything from appear in comics to basically be your little guide through Nintendo Power, popping up little quips every now and again. And for him to have his own game is weird. And there's nothing really original about it besides, you know, seeing Nestor in this, oh cool, a Bomberman game. These are usually pretty cool. Panic Bomber, though, is a Tetris clone. So we got another Tetris thing. Or more like Wario's Wood, I should say. Instead of bricks, you have all these happy guys and bombs dropping down, and you're trying to match the colors. Although it's really hard to see because obviously it's just red. Now, Red Alarm feels like Star Fox. It looks like Star Fox. It's like more vectory and not like filled in. You're flying around, stuff is coming at you, it actually looks pretty cool, but again, the motion blur with the red is just nauseating on the eyes. SD Gundam Dimension War. This is essentially a tactical role-playing game starring chibified Gundam characters. You got the chibi Zakus, you got the chibi mobile suits. It's all pretty cute. This is a huge series in Japan, so why not make one for the Virtual Boy? It's, you know, essentially those exact games, but in the 3D space. Again, it's fine when you go into battle, you're trying to like lock on to the enemy suit and fire. So that's where the 3D really comes in. The map scale is just kind of blank, and again, the red is no favor to this game at all. Space Invaders Virtual Collection is exactly as it sounds. It's Space Invaders on a new playing field with some slightly different graphics, but hey, it's still Space Invaders. I actually enjoy this one quite a bit. I dig the kind of locale of Earth below you as you're trying to, you know, shoot the Space Invaders. Much better than, you know, the original kind of Atari arcade kind of things. Ugh, my eyes are bleeding. Okay, what do we got next? Oh, another space game, Space Squash. Squash is a weird game to me in general, and having these weird space mecha alien characters fight off in this tournament is just kind of weird. Seeing the ball come towards you is kind of a neat effect. The graphics are whatever, but it's squash, sports games. Well, let's move on. Alright, another sports game that actually is very intriguing to me. This is Terrell Boxer. And if it wasn't so freaking hard, I would love this game. It's kind of a mech-based punch-out. You got the huge mech fighting you right in the center. Graphics look pretty cool. The fist coming at you looks pretty rad. It's not that blurry, so it doesn't really hurt the eyes that much. But it's really hard. It's not like Punch-Out where you can really read the enemy's movements and get like a couple hits in, and you know, it's not really a puzzle. It's just like a mashing kind of boxing game. Virtual Boy Wario Land. And this is probably the best game for the system. It is essentially Wario Land, and you're jumping back and forth. The scale is great, graphically looks awesome, the gameplay actually holds up. It's just that you actually want to play the game, but sitting there for more than, you know, 10-15 minutes is just a huge strain in your eyes. And it's not that, you know, difficult or long of a game either, so doing it in quick spurts isn't that hard to see. But again, it's you know, it is what it is. It's not as good as any of the Game Boy games, but still pretty fun in lieu of an actual Mario game. Up next we have another kind of space shooter. This is Vertical Force. And if you played Gradius or the aforementioned Space Invaders, it's a decent shmup, not really doing anything in terms of, you know, power-ups or anything cool like that. Virtual Fishing is probably the worst game on the list. It's a fishing game. It's not great. Not much is happening. The lake kind of looks cool. Yeah. One of the weirdest games on the list? Virtual Lab. It's Tetris, but you're playing inside the body of a girl. You have the girl next to you on the screen, and you're trying to connect these pathways through her body in order to help her out. Weird concept for a Tetris-like game. Seeing the weird esophaguses kind of move back and forth as you're like piece them onto each other is just makes me feel ooky. And then seeing the cute anime girl next to it is also ooky. Ooh, Virtual League Baseball. Now I like the kind of chibi character designs. That's cool, that's cool. I'm picking my players. And then it just looks like any other baseball game. Huge, tall, realistic looking people playing baseball, hitting balls. It's sports. Wow. So they made a Waterworld game. One of the worst movies probably ever. They made a game out of it. You're the boat, you're trying to rescue survivors, you kind of crash into plank things. People on jet skis are trying to kill you. It's a huge blank black space. I don't know what else to say. These last two are also just why and baffling. First off, V-Tetris, it's just Tetris on the normal scale, not rotating or anything like that. Just a straight vertical Tetris. It's Tetris. And then we have Virtual Bowling. Virtual Bowling! We already had Nestors Funky Bowling, and now we have a kind of more first-person bowling experience. It's just more or less bowling. And that's it. Those are the 22 games. Most of them are copies of one another, and of that, they're all either sports games or weird puzzle games. It's just baffling. And Waterworld? Waterworld? Holy crap. Oh, no wonder this thing only lasted like 8 months. It's crazy. But Nintendo learned from its mistakes. Again, I went through the pain for you, and this is a short little history lesson on the Virtual Boy. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope your eyes didn't bleed out of your sockets like mine did. Okay, till next time.
Boom, ba-jack, boom, boom, ba-jack, boom, ba-jack, boom, boom, ba-jack, boom, ba-jack, boom, boom, ba-jack, boom, ba-jack, boom, boom, subscribe, boom, ba-jack, boom, boom, ba-jack, boom, ba-jack, boom.